Hi everyone, welcome back to Video Visions with Kristen. We are going to cover Domain 1C today that talks about student goals and expectations. And up in the top right-hand corner, instead of me, that is my little man. He is my one and only. His name is Jack. He is 9 going on 19. That picture I love because it just shows his behavior through his face to a T. He is a smart, athletic, funny, on the ball kid, and he keeps me on my toes. So what I'm going to do is throughout these videos, I'm going to share a little bit of my family with you because I know so many of us, when we talk and when I see your live lessons, you're sharing a little bit of you with your kids as well. And it's so important for them to see that you're a human, not just a computer. So sharing a picture of your last vacation or your child or your new little fur baby, they will eat that up and they will do anything you ask them to do for the remainder of the lesson. So let's get started. Today, we're going to talk about essential questions, learning expectations, student objectives, and the importance they have on your lesson success. So when we think about the dream, we think about the framework or, this great idea that we have for something successful. And the essential questions are what really guide our live lessons. They inspire that, quest for knowledge. They encourage critical thinking. They, connect what the content is to real world problems and, situations. And then it allows the kids to see the bigger picture, the possibilities. So make sure that you check out this hyperlink that I've included on this slide. It's a really cool essential question guidebook that gives all kinds of sentence starters for creation of good essential questions. I know that you get a lot of your essential questions off of your content, but just think maybe we want to add another one or take that base essential question and kind of add to it. So check out that website. Some other strategy ideas that we need to make sure that we check out that will show that standard alignment and all those rigorous learning opportunities that we're allowing for our students are some of the following. So again, that development of that essential question, that revisiting it at the end of the lesson to say, okay, this is what we should be able to do. Can we do it? Standards. Video, something that if they need extra help or they want to learn more, that they can go and see. Also, take a minute to think about maybe creating a Screencastify video that has you in it tutoring on a topic or teaching a topic, because the kids have more of a vested interest in you than they do necessarily in someone who's recording the Khan Academy videos. And believe me, if I can make Screencastify videos, anyone can. So let's discuss the plan. Making sure that we think about these guiding questions when we're revamping slides or creating them for the first time. So making sure we include those essential questions, standards, objectives, and we're discussing topics from previous lessons that connect to the current topic at hand. Think about discussing a timeline of the lesson. So we have this agenda of what it is that we're going to cover. And I'll show you in a moment a sample of a teacher that actually put a timeline across the bottom of the screens so the kids could see where they are in the lesson. Also, discussing a rubric or talking about how they can get those 100 points for collaboration or 100 points for those assignments. Kids love to know what is expected of them, and then they usually rise to the occasion. Making sure your learning targets are linked to course content throughout the lesson, and then allowing the students to help set up those expectations and goals. I will show you a sample of that on the next slide. Also, making sure you provide supplemental resources, whether it's a link to the announcement page, your help site, or other videos that will help them if they have any questions. Ask the kids, hey guys, we just learned, the slope-intercept form. Do you have any sites that you've gone to that have been especially helpful for you? We just talked about the geosphere. Have you found any resources on the internet that you find helpful that might help other students? Allow them to serve as resources for others. So let's talk about some samples that I've seen actually happening in live lessons. So this right here is an example of a lesson that has a prior knowledge chart, a KWL, an objectives list, and a standards list, all in one intentional slide. The teacher here will take a movable, cover up the learning column, and come back to that as an exit ticket at the end. What a way to make sure that we're getting everything we need in at the beginning. This is another really cool example, and this is the timeline I was talking about, that the students can see the topics that need to be covered and where they are on that slide. This teacher has also included a really great rubric that students can see what they need to do in order to gain all of the points needed, as well as 2 pictures that discuss passive versus active learning. Simply 2 pictures of different people doing different things. The top one is a person just staring off into the space, and the second one, or the bottom picture, is someone who's actively engaged in what's going on in front of them. So it really stems some good conversation about passive learning versus active learning. Here we have our goals. We have a rubric, as well as a difference between collaboration and participation. Again, these kids sign in and they answer a couple questions and they think that they're good to go for collaboration. Make them help others out. Ask them to, partner up with a mobile kid and put some stuff on the board. Ask them to feed off of each other's answers, or if they came up with another solution, how they came up with it. Make them engage. This is a really neat one because here the teacher asked for some student solicited responses on what their expectations of the lesson today is. Why are they here? And then what does the word collaboration mean to you? They're going to come up with the same stuff that we would put on the board. Raise your hand, be respectful, but let them do it. That helps them with that student ownership of learning. And trust me, I've seen it happen. If they're owning it and they're volunteering it up, they usually have more buy-in and the participation increases that much. Here's another great sample of showing some resources that, they can find at the end of the lesson or, 2 weeks from now that they can go to if they have any questions. It literally links them back to a help site that you all have spent so much time creating. So let's discuss real quick. Let me get rid of that. Let's discuss real quick about how you're going to make your essential questions and objectives meaningful for students. So just think a minute about some of these questions. When you teach a live lesson, do the students seem to know all of the content with ease? Or are you, adjusting your lesson and amping up those conversations when you know that those kids are able to do the work from the get-go? Are you spending a large chunk of time going over how to use the tools? Because if you are, let's try some of those tips that we discussed in the last video to kind of change that up. And also, are you front loading all of the information to your students, or are you allowing them to find some themselves? So I'm approaching my limit. I have gone way too long. So don't forget to check out my Video Visions tab on my Google site. Reach out for support anytime. See you next time.